Today I'm going to be doing a transmission service on this 2006 Ford Explorer with the V8. I'm going to be doing a drain, filter, and fill with new fluid. I'm going to be using this for pumping the new fluid into it because it does not have a dipstick on the top. It's underneath, and I'm going to have to use that pump to pull it over and put it into the case. I'm going to be using Mercon LV fluid. They told me, the dealership told me that that is a suitable replacement for the SP fluid, so we'll be using that. Okay, as you can see now, I have the pump set up. I have the small hose that goes into the intake of the pump, in through the hole on the top of the transmission. It's right by the catalytic converter, so careful with that. And then it's connected there, goes down to the pump. Then it should go right into the tray. Should pump it about 4 times and it should start going. That way, when I unbolt this pan, take the filter out, I won't have a bunch of fluid going everywhere. Alright, so a word to the wise about this filter. When you pull this filter out, it usually just drops down automatically into the pan when you pull the pan down. But when you drop it down, make sure that if this doesn't have this O-ring on this pickup tube, you got to make sure that it's not in the up in the transmission itself, because if it's up there and you put the new one in with the O-ring, it's not going to seat properly and you won't have any pressure. Now, to be honest, you probably wouldn't even be able to get the pan back up if you have a double O-ring up there, because this is pretty tight in the pan. So, but still, just make sure that this is out of there, because you don't want to have any loss of pressure in the transmission. You cook the friction plates real fast. And as far as putting the fluid back in, all you gotta do is just reverse. So before this line here was on the top of the pump, well, now it's just on the bottom of the pump, because we're putting the fluid in through the top to go into the pump and then into the transmission in the bottom. And as far as that, the bolts in that transmission, they're 8 millimeters. The socket you'll be using is 8 millimeter socket for the pan bolts. There's 21 of them, so you put those back in. Now, another thing, I took out 4.5 quarts out of this transmission, and I put 4.5 quarts back in that LV fluid. It was not enough. It was hardly even on the stick. And there is a stick. When you take that plug off, there's a stick underneath that plug. That plug is a 19 millimeter to take that plug off. And there was no fluid on that. So make sure you get up to the proper fluid level. Don't do like I did and do it in the middle of the night where you can't see the fluid and just assume because you took 4.5 out that you just got to put 4.5 in, because that's just not the case. I actually ended up using 6.5 quarts, so just make sure it's at because it'll be cold. You're supposed to do it when it's running, check the fluid, but with that catalytic converter there, it's just way too hot. Check it cold, and it'll be just below that crosshatch of where it's the safe zone to drive. And that fluid will expand. So if it's just at the bottom of that crosshatch, you should be good. And then when it warms up, it will be in that crosshatch. So that should pretty much do it. Now, one other thing I forgot to mention is I got the Power Torque transmission filter kit. That does come with a new filter, but you can reuse the old one. And even though it comes with a new one, I would recommend keeping the old one just in case the new one, because the new one is just kind of a rubber filter or a rubber gasket. So I think that it would probably be the best idea would be just to keep the old one in case that one starts leaking.